Well, good evening, everybody. This is John Unell, aka John I Fly, from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. I trust that everybody's having a great weekend. I'm having a nice, quiet weekend. It's so far hasn't rained. I think it did early this morning, but Sunday they want it to be. I don't know if it'll be a washout, but we'll find out what happens tomorrow. But anyway, I'm just going to have a short rant tonight. I titled this "To Vaccinate or Not." Seems like our Republican friends are having a big problem with getting vaccinated. I don't know why, because it's not a political issue, people. You know, it's a health issue. If you would have told me years ago that this is how they would have handled a pandemic or medical situation, I would have said, no, they have common sense, right? Well, I guess they don't, not with the party of Trump. But anyway, I heard today on CNN, they have now get this, 93% of cases with the COVID virus and the new variant, the Delta variant, 93% of them were not vaccinated or unvaccinated. 93%. And 27 states are seeing a rising in the cases. And guess what states they are, people? Guess. You have 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. Red states. Yeah, really, red states, the GOP states. I heard somebody say that the GOP party today is a death cult. And I agree with them. Makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you want to discourage vaccinations when it can help people? Makes no sense. Well, anyway, the governor of South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster, he tried to block the door-to-door efforts to drive up vaccination rates in his state. Now, obviously the Biden administration is pushing for this door-to-door. As far as I know, it's from the Biden administration. They're knocking on doors to let people know, hey, get vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, get vaccinated. And I'm sure they gave them information as to where they can get their vaccinations. But the governor of South Carolina said, no, that's really. He tried to block the door-to-door efforts to drive up vaccination rates in his state. So obviously the vaccination rates are pretty bad down in his state. But he doesn't want to see those rates go up. He doesn't want to see the vaccination rate percentages go up. What the hell type of governor is that? Really, people? Well, anyway, the White House is calling them out on that, and I'm glad they are. I want to read here. It's easier. I was going to write it down, but I thought it would be best to save myself the work and just read it here. The White House press secretary, after learning about the governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster, when she found out that he was trying to stop the door-to-door efforts, this is what she said. It said that she didn't mince words, and I'm so glad she didn't. It says, the failure to provide, this is a quote now, quote, the failure to provide accurate public health information including the efficacy of vaccines and the accessibility of them to people across the country, including South Carolina, is literally killing people. So maybe they should consider that. And close quote. She's right on. Why would anybody in their right mind want to discourage people to get vaccinated in their state? Makes no sense. Unless maybe he's influenced by Johnny Boy, the nightmare that I thought would go away and he hasn't gone away yet. Unbelievable. Well, anyway, that covers the vaccination part. It just doesn't make sense. And I just found it interesting that the red states have the most unvaccinated people, while the Democratic states have less of the variant of the COVID, and they have a higher vaccination rate. Sounds to me like the Democratic Party's got it together, wouldn't you say? Really? So, like I said, the Republican Party of today, I don't know what it was like, well, years ago it wasn't great, but better than what it was now. They're the party of denial. I believe that, their viewpoint is the less education you get on certain things, it's for the better. You see, if people aren't educated enough on something, it gives the opposition more power. Think about that. If I had something planned, if I was like a state official or something, or president, and I wanted to pull something off crooked, I'm not going to go out and tell everybody. It just seems like the Republican Party is trying to suppress. Come on, people. We're the United States of America, Republicans. It's not just the GOP and it's not just the Democrats. It's all of us together being united. That's what the United States is all about. That's why it's called the United States. But for some wacky reason, the GOP party is not looking at it that way. They're not looking to unite the country. They're looking to divide it, and they seem to have done a pretty good job. Well, anyway, another good example is the January 6th Select Committee. Now, Nancy Pelosi pushed for it to be completed, and it's supposed to be a 13-member panel. So she had a press conference and she explained that. So anyway, she decided to have Chairman Benny Thompson. He's a Democrat from Mississippi. She decided to have him as the chairman. And I listened to what he had to say. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and I think he's going to do a fine job in running the committee. He plans to start the investigation on either the July the 21st or the 22nd. And they're going to probably start with the first responders, the Capitol Police. Well, actually, I believe the D.C. Police and the Capitol Police were involved on the January 6th insurrection, which is what it is, even though the Republicans don't want to call it that, with the exception of 2 Republicans that are for the committee, and they don't mince words when they come out and say what happened on January 6th was an insurrection. So, anyway, he wants to get that going either July the 21st or the 22nd. In the meantime, they're waiting for the minority leader, McCarthy, I believe Kevin McCarthy, to make his 5 selections for the Republicans that he wants to appoint and submit to the to Nancy Pelosi for the committee. We're still waiting on him, however. Like I said, the GOP is the party of no and delay. So why would it be any different if the minority leader does the same thing? So that should be an interesting situation. I'm looking forward to it. I gotta remember to pop a bag of popcorn and watch that. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure a lot of you people will be watching it too. It would have been better if we would have had the bipartisan committee, but no, the GOP didn't want that. And I ask, what are you people trying to hide? Are you that afraid of, is it that fear that you're afraid of Donald Trump? Trump is like a nightmare. He just won't go away. He just will not go away. And now there's talk that, come August, he's going to be reinstated as President of the United States. Since when did we change our election laws that we can just, don't worry about the election. We don't care what the people said. We believe Donald Trump's the rightful president, and it was stolen. Didn't you know that? It was stolen from him. He was actually elected. I just can't believe how deluded the Republicans are. They're delusional. They've got that sickness of delusion. Trump has repeated this over and over again. Oh, they stole the election from me. He's repeated so many times that he believes it, and his followers, his minions believe it. People, remember something. Go by the facts. And the facts are very clear. That Joe Biden won the election. It's 6 months later, and we're still hearing the GOP cry about it. We're still hearing Donald Trump cry about it. I believe they have a CPAC meeting going on. And of course, we're hearing all the whining, bitching, moaning, and complaining going on in their sessions. I believe Donald Trump's supposed to speak on tomorrow, Sunday, the 11th. So he's like a bad nightmare. He just won't go away. He won't go away. I don't believe it's going to happen for August. I believe, what is the date anymore? I think it's the 13th now. I heard another report that it was supposed to be the 20th, but he's just going to march right into Washington and take control, man. He's going to take his rightful position as King Donald Trump of the United States. And I tell you what, how much you want to make a bet that date's going to come and go, and he's not going to march in there and be President of the United States. There is some concern, however, that maybe his little minions will wire up the army again and go down to Washington again for another insurrection moment. Well, they're actually taking the fence down now around the Capitol. But it was said that they can put the fence back up on a moment's notice, so this is unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. Donald Trump, it's not going to happen. You need to get over your delusion. I suggest you go to a mental hospital and get yourself checked out, because you are not right, buddy. It's not going to happen. And I think this time your little minions are going to be met with force. So they better not even think to try something. So anyway, that's about all I have to say right now. I can't stress enough getting out the vote too. Because 2022 is going to be, I believe, a monumental year. We have got to vote the Democrats in. We can't allow them. You know, that's one of my pet peeves, and then I'm going to call it a night for now. Every time I turn the TV on, I'm hearing, like on CNN and stuff, and well, you know, historically the Democrats, or whoever the party is, that's how they phrase it, whoever the party is that's in power, they always lose members. So in this case, the House members that we have a majority of, that we could lose some seats and have Republicans take over the Senate. Let's not let that happen, people. If you want, and I'm serious about this, you want a democracy and you want to keep a democracy, you damn well better get out and vote for the Democratic Party and whoever the candidates are. If we lose this, you might as well kiss everything else we work for goodbye. And I don't want to see that happen. So people, I don't care what you have to do. You have friends, you go out, get them registered to vote if they haven't registered already. And get to the polls, because these asshole GOP people are doing all they can to make laws to make it harder for people to vote, especially minorities. I got a kick out of this one thing I heard today. And John Buttigieg, it's from your state, Texas. Why not, right? Congressman Michael Burgess, who's a Republican, he was interviewed on CNN today about voting rights. And he said, you know, we're hearing all this stuff where the Democrats are saying the state of Texas is purple and it's going to turn blue. And he said that's in their fantasy. Yeah. He said it hasn't happened and it's not going to happen. People, we got to prove him wrong. We have got to, and I hope Beto O'Rourke runs again. He's a good guy. I saw him speaking the other day in a meeting down in Texas there. We need to prove them wrong. The Republicans think that they have control of everything. We can flip it, people, but we have to get out and vote. Be educated, find out what they're trying to do with these laws. Do everything you can to support people that are fighting against it. They're already thinking of Pennsylvania up here. They want to do the same thing they did in Arizona. And there's a lot of opposition from the Democrats in my state. And so they're working on that. The Attorney General is working on that through the State Attorney General. And let's see what happens. We're going to give it a hell of a fight. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to listen. Remember, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. On YouTube, I go as John I Fly. On Facebook, I go as John R. Unell. That's U-N-E-L-L. And like, subscribe, and feel free to share. And another thing that I enjoy, comment on what I've had to say. I like to hear your opinions. Feel free to comment, and because I do read those comments every time I do a rant here. So yeah, leave some comments, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it among your friends. And I deeply appreciate that. Okay, you have a good night. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the night here. I've got to make something to eat and just relax, and hopefully I will be talking to you soon. Take care, and I love you all. Again, thanks for taking the time to listen. Have a good night.